Ladies and gentlemen, this is questions D through F on the lesson practice, the practice set on the bottom of page 385. It says, write each number in scientific notation. Well, this is kind of a new concept, but it's actually pretty easy. Once you get to do a couple of them, you're going to get the hang of it very quickly. I know you guys. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this one down here so we can kind of follow along exactly the steps. So we have 0.0000000 and then 25. Let me make sure I got enough zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. All right. It says write that number in scientific notation. All right. So this is pretty easy to do. When we have a really small number like that, scientific notation allows us to write this number in a little bit easier to understand format, or at least I think it's easier to understand, because anytime you're going to do like science or something like that, you're going to be dealing with some very small numbers, and it helps to use what's called scientific notation. And what we're going to do is we're going to write this number in multiples of 10. Now here's how we do that. All we do, the very first step, is we want to move this decimal place in between the first two non-zero numbers, okay? And we're going to find out how far we have to move it, okay? Well, what is the first two non-zero numbers that we see on the screen? It's the 2 and the 5. So we want to move this decimal place all the way right here to in between those first two non-zero numbers. So we're going to count how far we have to move it. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. If we move that decimal place in between the first non-zero numbers, we would end up with 2.5, and that's what we want, right? And the way that we write it in scientific notation is, first of all, we did what we just did, is we find out how many places to the right we had to move it, right? And then we write that as times 10 to the, well, how many places did we move it? We moved it 10 to the right, so that's times 10 to the negative 7, because we moved it 7 times. Okay, so our final answer is 2.5 times 10 to the negative 7. Okay, now we just found out that we could also rewrite that question in 1 over 10 to the 7th, or 2.5 times 10 to the 7th. All right, so let's go ahead and do the next one. Let's erase all of our handwriting here. Let's go ahead and do the next one. All right, so we have, let me use a different color here. So 0. How many zeros we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we have a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I think I have an extra 0 in there. Let me erase that. All right, let me try that again. So I have 0.000000001. That's better. All right, now what's our first step? We are going to move this decimal place right here to the first non-zero number, in between the first non-zero number. So we're going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we moved it right there, we would have 1 times 10 to the, how many did we move it to the right? We moved it 9. So 1 times 10 to the negative 9. And that would be our final answer.